Okay, I'm sorry about that. Now, if you have not looked at part one, please look at part one. But I'm just gonna hurry up and keep starting, keep going on the next one because I have to get ready for my presentation, and I got a lot of work I gotta do on this computer. So, yeah. So, I what else? Oh yeah, I was talking about jealousy. Jealousy works in two ways: spirit of oppression and the spirit of possession. Um, I've had that, and when it's I've had it as far as oppression, um, and it feels like a weight that's just sitting on you. It's always targeting. You'll notice it, and a lot of people will notice it when they go into like workforce and stuff like that. That's definitely in your workforce. You know, sometimes the enemy, the spirit, wants you to be jobless, homeless, and stuff like that. So when you go into these atmospheres, you'll be doing things, and you'll see people coming your way who all of a sudden cannot stand you, who will go out of their way to do horrible and ruthless things or things to mimic you. You wear a blue hat and everyone likes it and they don't like you. The next thing they're saying it's ugly, but the next 2 days you see them come back with the same blue hat. Or you're doing something really, really well and you're learning quick and they're helping you. They're helping you, but they don't like other people saying that you're doing a good job as well as them because they're so used to being at the top of their game. So instead of that, they sabotage. Well, she's going too slow. She was learning at first, but she's going too slow, or she's not doing that. So this is where now sometimes those things are true and you can work on it, but you will know the difference when yeah. So that is the spirit of oppression. You'll see it in different people. It won't like that spirit just won't target just one person. It'll just start hopping. Even if you change jobs, you will probably notice that. And this is why I say you have to target that spirit from the spiritual realm and not from the person. Because if you don't and you move and you leave, it's going to keep hounding you. That was the biggest thing that I had to learn. Attack it, and don't be fearful. Things are going to get a little rough at first, but it's going to get better. It's going to get better because you have power, dominion, and authority to rule and reign. This says that we have power to trample over scorpions and serpents, and and all those wild beasts. So don't get afraid of them. They try to hound you, but you have the power. And God did not give you a spirit of fear, but a power and a love and a sound mind. So you have to remember that. And when you speak out the word, which is your warranty, they are bound by law by the same book that you are. So if you are in agreement and you are into that, they have no other refuge or anything like that. They don't have any backing but to recognize that and to respect it. They might not like it, but they have to respect it and they can't hinder it. You have that hedge of protection. So, yeah. What else? God is not giving a spirit of fear, but a power of love and sound mind. Possession. Possession is usually when people have opened themselves up for demonic entrance, whether voluntarily or involuntarily. This can also stem from unforgiveness. If you have that, it opens up a womb to let the enemy walk into your life. I'll say this: when I went to church today, and I had stopped going to church for a good minute, but like I said, my whole goal was not to stop going to church, period. That's foolishness. That is foolishness. You're supposed to gather yourselves around like-minded individuals. It doesn't matter what kind of setting that you're in, but it's power in numbers. So, and our Bible even tells us that. So anyone saying just automatically, yes, you're supposed to separate yourselves among people that are not, going in that way so you won't be tainted. However, you're supposed to be around like-minded people. So my whole goal was to find a church home that believed in the power of God, who was biblically sound, and that I could root myself into, because I know the benefits of having that. And when I had one that was very sound and stayed on the word of God and not on man, I was able to not only produce fruit, but I was able to flourish, and that fruit multiplied. People was able to eat from that fruit, and they were able to be nourished and multiply. I was able to eat from fruit. people were able to eat from the fruit. You see what I'm saying? So it was all good fruit, and it's multiplying, 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 and the seeds kept going. But I've also seen that like I said, I had to be careful because I've also seen being in a area where it was not of God, and you'd be like, what the heck? And it produced bad fruit. It says in the Bible also that a good tree can only produce good fruit, and a bad tree can only produce bad fruit. Even though it looks like a tree and it's got fruit, doesn't mean it is good. You got to see which one is it. So yeah, anywho, so I've seen the outcomes of both, and I know the power of being around people who are with God in numbers. So that's what I did. When I went this morning, it was so crazy. It wasn't crazy. It was just like, I don't know what made me think about this, but I was talking about tithes, and I was like, this is so crazy because I am a tither. There are a lot of people out here who say they don't believe in tithes and God doesn't believe in tithes, and it's like, it tells you to bring your tithes to the storehouse so you can have plenty of room. Like when things happen, you're supposed to be able to have this. Now, I have a problem with people who are pushy with, trying to use people with compulsion with tithes. And it's so crazy because they talked about that. It wasn't crazy, okay? I'm understanding this divine connection. But, yeah, I'm not one of those people who stay in areas where they're dealing with compulsion, An example of that is you go and you have the collection, and now they're saying, well, we have this amount and we need $500 more. Let's make it an even number. Come on, like that. And they were talking about that. It was so crazy. They talked about that in Sunday school today, and I was like, whoa. And, okay, before that, I'll tell you this. When I came in, I thought about, I don't know what came out of me, but I was like, why did I even think of that? I was like, I hope they don't ask for begging for money, like a whole bunch of money, because I'm not going to give them a whole bunch of money. Like, I'm just not. I don't know why I said that, but I was like, so when I got in, they started talking about that, and I was like, oh, crap. So, I was like, God, and they was like telling us, like, if it's not of God, if you don't have, not cheerful or passionate about giving it, you're wasting your money in that collection plate. And I was like, that made sense. So they started talking about that, talking about the whole compassion about it. You're supposed to be cheerful because you know that you're giving to God and not to man, and I was like, thank you. Like, it finally made sense. It finally got into what I believe. I remember as a kid when my grandfather used to tell us, like, how they have, like, things where they say, well, you need to have your tithes recorded, so don't make sure you put your name. And my grandfather told me one thing. I remember, well, he's always used to tell me a whole bunch of stuff because I was always around him. But he used to tell me this. Why do they need to know? That's only them being nosy. If you're giving it to God, it doesn't matter who knows or who don't, because God knows. So he was telling me, like, don't put your tithes or write your tithes into in those envelopes. It's not necessary. You can do it, but it's really not necessary. So I've learned, I used to do, because my other pastor, like, way back, he used to say that, yeah, because he wants it to be on a tally because some people lie, and he knew that I was putting in tithes, so he wanted that record. So what I would do was put half, because I still felt convicted from what my grandfather said. Like, I'm not doing it for you guys. I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it because it's something that God gave to me, and I want to give it back to him. I want to give and do my part. I can never do as much as he's done for me, but I do want to be grateful and do my part. Do at least what he asked me to do, even though he's more deserving than that. So I would do half, writing my thing in an envelope, and then the next I would just put in the tray. So yeah, but I thought about that and dealt with unforgiveness because I was like, you know what? What made me start thinking about that? What made me get in my head? And I had to analyze it when I got home, and I was like, okay, what happened to me before? Because I have not forgiven that other church for telling me, oh, you didn't put in this, knowing doggone well that they knew that I put in that money. or you didn't, give to this, and it's like, even though, like, why does that even matter? As far as me being a sound person or voting or anything like that, why does that even matter? I'm an active member. I served on the board. What if I didn't have a job? What if I didn't have anything? And that's sometimes that it was some points that I did not have a job, but I was still contributing from what I had in my savings and things like that, because I believe in that power of God. I believe, He gave me enough to provide for myself. He gave me enough that I'm living. I need to give what is due, everything of me, not just, my voice and my talents, my financial gains. Those are the things that He gave me. Everything that I have, He's given me. So why not? Now what they do with it is on another part, but that was my my gift, my sacrifice to the Lord. That was my offering to the Lord. Yeah. So anyhow, it made me think about that, and I was like, I didn't forgive for that, and God showed me that. So I had to pray and like, God, please help me with my unforgiveness. Let me forgive them. I forgive them, please. So that I can move on. And that day, like today, healed me. Like, you don't understand, because I was wondering. See, and when people talk about jealousy, everybody wants to click on videos and they want to talk about witchcraft and everything else. Well, a curse cannot get on someone who is living right, who is just. So you have to find out what is it in the law books that you are not doing that is not according to God's will and God's plan for your life, and turn away from it and repent. He didn't say, oh, once you stop doing it, that it's going to be okay. No, you're supposed to repent, turn away, and do the right thing, and then He will heal you. So that was my whole thing with dealing with that, dealing with jealousy, unforgiveness, disobedience, unfaithfulness. What else? Yeah, those are the main things that come from that. I thought it was just forgiving my mom. It's so much deeper. It's so much on a so much deeper plane than that. Just forgive the people that caused you harm. And some of these people don't even know that they even caused me or cause some other people harm. You have to think about that. We are all human, so you have to forgive, and you have to constantly forgive, because not only that, even if you're walking right, you're still going to offend some people, and you don't even know it. So you have to ask for you. That is in your bylaws. Like, don't let that spirit of jealousy creep in. That's all I can say. I'm gonna get off of here because I got like about an hour left of doing some work, and then I gotta be on the move and then come back. So hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem, and thank you for all the new subscribers. Thank you guys for staying with me so far. I know that there are so many other people on YouTube and so many other social platforms that you could be listening to, and I'm grateful that you took the time out to listen to this. So thanks.